Okay, never mind. I figured it out.
Okay.
Okay, so, all right. Deep breath. I'm so nervous, but this is gonna be great. So, a little bit about me. Those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about me. I'm not bragging. I'm not a braggy person, but I want you to understand that I'm speaking from experience and I know what I'm talking about. My name is Jennifer Wood, not Summer Tucker. So you see it underneath my thing. I've been a coach for 7 years. That's mind blowing because I am the girl who was never consistent, who always quit when things got hard, who's disorganized, a hot mess. So if I can do this, anyone can do this, and you will get better. There are areas that I've grown in and I've improved in. So over the last 7 years, I've hit Success Club for 79 months in a row, except for 1 month, and I won't say why. It was a very sad, tragic. Last year, I missed it by 2 points. But that's a big deal. I've earned, I think, 5 or 6 trips, and I can't even keep up anymore, which is, anyway, so I know what it takes, and all it is what we're going to talk about tonight. It's showing up and doing these things consistently, creating that momentum, and doing it over a period of time. And at first, the first year was really hard for me because I didn't have a huge transformation. I know Lara can relate to this as well. I didn't have a huge transformation because I was already kind of into fitness. And it was real tough, but I kept showing up. I kept believing in those who had gone before me. I trusted Summer. I trusted, I got in the room. I went to Summit and I was surrounded and I was like, dude, if these people can do this, I can do this. And it made me believe in myself. And that's why going to Super Saturdays, going to Summit, if you're not going, get in the room because it really makes a difference. In my first Summit, getting off track here, but I have to say this. My first Summit, I flew standby. I paid $99. I flew standby. I got stuck in Chicago. Actually, I got stuck in Vegas, rerouted to Chicago. I had to stay there overnight, and I would do it all again. It was scary. I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and Shakeology like I was broke. But I made it, and I know I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have gone. So it's that important to go because it built my belief in myself. And some people have that belief, but I didn't. When I came in, I really did not believe in myself. So, I struggle with anxiety. I struggle with depression. And so over the last 7 years, I've grown in so many areas. But anyways, I digress. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. My whole point is that I know what I'm talking about. If you do this stuff, I know you hear the same stuff from everyone, but I promise you it works. There's no secret sauce. I remember as a new coach, I was like, tell me what to do. What's the secret? And I was like, oh, okay. So as my numbers have gone up, I'm just doing more. So instead of just inviting 2, I'm maybe inviting 5 or 10 a day. But you have to do what you can do for yourself. I'd much rather people do 2 every single day, or maybe whatever works for you. If you want to do 20 on Monday and not, but be consistent. Don't go all in crazy numbers and then burn out. That's not sustainable. We want you to do something that you can stick with long term, because like I said, you're going to build that momentum. And if you come in and you're like, yeah, I'm doing great, and you're all in for 3 months, and then you go MIA for 3 months, people don't trust you. And I'm not saying you can't get that trust back, but it takes time. So like I said, that first year was so tough, and then it got easier and it got easier and it got easier. And so now people trust me and they know what I do. And does that make sense? It just gets a little easier. I still have to work. I work hard. I do a lot of invites. So Lara is on here. She is an amazing coach. She's been a coach for a working coach for a little over a year. And, I just slow down. Sorry, I'm going so fast. But she's amazing. Here's a good reason to follow up, and we should probably talk about this in the follow-up. And she can tell you a little bit more about this. But I followed up with her over 4 years, or maybe it was 7 years. No, 6 years ago. And she finally said yes, and she's one of our top. She is our top leader of our team. And And so I kept checking back in with her, and then she was watching me. And so that's why you keep following up with people. But anyways, she, last month she hit, where's my notes? Success Club 18, which was her highest month. Is that right? 18?
Yeah,
Between
18.
You and your husband, which is amazing. And she's at 6 right now. And she earned the Success Club cruise. We got to celebrate together, her and her husband. And she's been hitting like off and on, like she's been doing really well. Her volume's through the roof. She's keeping customers. And so I know she's going to be able to teach you guys some things, because she does, like, she's a fitness instructor, but she also has a lot of business from online as well. So anyway, so let's show her some love too. And because she knows what she's talking about too. So that's what I'm saying. But Laura, do you want to like say a little quick about yourself?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, y'all. I'm nervous. I messaged
talk as fast as me.
I messaged our little coach chat when Jennifer asked me to do this with a little gif of a boy peeing his pants, because it's like, I'm gonna pee my pants. But I'm actually really happy to do this, because these are the kinds of this is how I want my future to be with the company. So I'm actually really glad to just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and jump right in here. But I just wanted to touch on what Jennifer said. I was a hard no for 6 years, and then something changed in my life. I had our second child, very unexpectedly got pregnant with our second child, and it threw me through a loop, because I was building myself in the fitness industry, and then I was like, well, now I've lost it. And then I remembered, because she's so consistent. I have local friends that do Beachbody. I have local friends that are trainers. I could have worked with anybody here in town, but because Jennifer never quit asking and never quit posting and never quit sharing, when I needed to lose that last 10 pounds and kind of find myself again, I reached out to her, and she was like, are you serious now? and I'm so glad I did. And I'm so glad that she never stopped asking. So that'll be a lot of what we talk about tonight is, just don't stop asking. Yeah. But I'm happy to be here. Thanks, y'all, for listening to my babbling.
No, you're great. And I posted like a call to action post, and I think you commented, and I was like, she posted like the emoji, and I was like, really? Are you just being nice? It was hilarious. Anyways, okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is PD. I promise we'll get into the meat and potatoes, but we've got to start with the foundation, which is PD. And I see so many faces that I recognize. You guys know how important that is, because, like I said, 7 years later, the income is great. I make full-time income, but the best part of it is the growth that I've had from PD, from working on my own belief, mindset, leadership skills, people skills, and I still screw up all the time, trust me, like all the time, like just recently. So make sure that you're doing some sort of PD, whether that's listening to podcasts or reading for 10 minutes. It doesn't matter how you're doing it, just get something, in your mind, because it really is true. What we watch and what we listen to comes out in our lives. So like if we're watching, I know this isn't PD, but if we're watching a lot of trash and negative things like the news and drama, and how do you feel when you watch that? Like it's funny, it's like, oh, their life's, but it's draining, and it makes you like not feel good. So just be mindful of that. So anyways, Laura, like what do you, like I know you're a busy mom. She has two young kids, right?
Yes.
And so what do you do to get your PD in?
I try to make sure that as far as personal development time, that I'm doing business personal development and spiritual personal development. And obviously everybody has their own beliefs spiritually, but whatever yours are, you should be feeding that part of yourself. So I have just a really short devotional that I do in the mornings. I just get up before everybody else, and me and the cats kind of sit there, and I drink my coffee and I read my devotional, and I go through the things that I'm praying about. And then later in the day, I've already done that because things get more chaotic, but then I can listen to a replay of something in the car. I can listen to a podcast. I've been getting a lot of great stuff lately off the Beachbody Champions page. If you guys are members of that page, somebody's always sharing an awesome training. There was just a series of 4 or 5 social media trainings on there that were wonderful. I got all kinds of great stuff for them. And you can listen in your car and, listen back later if you want to make notes or something. But yeah, make sure your PD is developing all sides of you, spiritual and business.
Yeah, that's good. What's the devotional that you have? Do you recommend it?
I do. I really like it. It's what's the little book I'm reading through now? The little leather-bound one, because I took it from you. I'm asking my husband because I took it from him. He's going to bring it out to me. It's really great though, and I do recommend it because it's they're short but they're meaty, and you get the verses that go along with it. So then I just kind of have my Bible on my phone, and I have the book right there, and then I have my little prayer list right there. Yeah, here it is. Thank you, babe. My lovely assistant. It's called Jesus Calling.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Tommy actually, my husband teaches part-time at a Christian school, and they gave this to them, and it's by Sarah Young. And it's really great. This woman, Sarah Young, she's just, I don't know, she has a way of summarizing the scriptures to kind of discern what Jesus wants you to know about all these different passages, and then you get the actual passages to go and read too in your Bible. So if you're a Christian, I do recommend Jesus Calling, because it's not, I'm not a very intellectual person when it comes to the Bible, so it makes it really simple for a dum-dum like me.
That's awesome. I want to touch on something. Like, I think that's great that you're doing that. I need to find that book because I'm almost positive I have it.
You'd like it, yeah.
I want to also touch on, like, because a lot of people say they're too busy. So, like, people don't know your life. Quickly, like, tell, like, how busy you are, because you are busy.
Okay, so I have one in pre-K 2, a 2-year-old who goes 2 days a week for 4 hours, but every other minute he's with me. So y'all mamas know how that is. And then I have a 10-year-old, and I teach classes at the gym plus my own training. And then I do Beachbody workouts at the gym after I teach or before I teach my gym class for that day. I teach flute lessons in the evening times, because I actually got a music degree, so I'm trying to use it and not just totally let that go. But I teach flute lessons. I meal prep a couple times a week, running my kids around everywhere. Y'all definitely know how that is. Keeping the house clean, all the things. I'm busy.
Job in itself, but I just want to say, like, because some people are like, well, some, say that it's easier for some people because they're not busy or whatever, but
right.
It's possible for busy people. I mean, we all know that. We've seen
20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, that one. So the second thing, which won't take that long, but we have to be a product. I mean, we all know it. You can't fake this. You don't have to have a 6-pack. We all go backwards. Heck, I've gone backwards in the last 2 months. But you have to be doing a workout program. And she's even had better results, like, as she started doing a workout program, because she was just doing her gym workouts, and being a product of the products really helped her business grow even more and build her belief in the products. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we need to cover that, because I think everybody understands that. But if you're struggling in your business and you're not working out consistently, and you're not drinking your Shakeology consistently, you're not trying, at least trying to be healthy, then that's probably the issue. I mean, that's got to happen, or none of this. It's like the recipe Summer talks about. Nothing else works. Like, that is the oven. Like, you're cooking yourself, I guess. That's kind of what you're saying. So the next one we're actually going to do, I think we're supposed to kind of go through it. So the next one is connecting. And I'm going to let her kind of talk about how she connects. But That could be in person, and I know she's really good at that. But what I like to do for connecting is like either do happy birthday messages, or they should be new people. When we did the Josh Coates thing, I really learned the importance of connecting with new people. Oh, I forgot add people. Sorry guys. Got to go back to that because connecting goes in place of adding people. So if you have your Facebook open, if you have no, like you could do it on your phone, or like I can't. But I want you to add 3 to 5 new people, or if you're not comfortable with that, add 2, like 2 to 5 people. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go to Facebook and maybe go to somebody that you went to college with, or somebody you have maybe went to go to church with, and then just click on their name. And then it's hard for me to know on here, but if you go and you click on mutual friends, then you can see like mutual friends that you have like lots of friends with. Are you following? Like, does that make sense? And so go through there and like maybe look for people that you kind of know. Like later, like now I don't even know these people, but early on I would go and I would kind of say, oh, we have mutual friends. And maybe it was somebody that you know from church, or maybe somebody from the gym or something like that, because you have all these mutual friends. You also want to make sure that you click on them and make sure they're not like a coach. Because if they have like 50 friends from this community, they're probably a coach. So you just kind of want to scan mutual friends and make sure they're not friends with any other coaches. I mean, it's going to happen. Like the longer you're in here, it's going to overlap. But so let's just take like 5 minutes, and then 2 to 5 people totally. I don't track them until they accept. So like next week, we're not going to go into that too much on Instagram, but like on Instagram, like if I'm adding people, I don't track them until they follow me back. And I don't even really track them until they're following my stories. Sorry, that's going to go down a totally different rabbit hole. But basically, like for now, just add them. And if they follow you back, then you can track them. So if you're doing Facebook, and if you're just doing a few on Instagram, then you could do the same thing, I guess. All right. So 5 minutes and we'll do that. Shouldn't even take 5 minutes.
You guys probably know this, but when you scroll Facebook now, it actually just says people you may know, and you can just tick, 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 tick all the way through and see. Yeah.
That's true. That's a great tip. If it pops up, I just didn't know. Let me pause that. I didn't know how to make that pop up. So
usually when I open up Facebook, if I scroll just a little bit, it's right there.
Let's see. Ew, creepy. I just saw something weird. I'm not seeing it.
If you guys, if you live in big neighborhoods or even small neighborhoods and you have a neighborhood Facebook page, friend your neighbors, because, I mean, there's no false pretense in that. They're your neighbors. So be friends with them on Facebook, and then you're close to them, and you get to know them.
That's a really good idea. I've tried that with some of the ones here, and they like won't accept me as a friend. Like, I live in your neighborhood.
We neighbors, y'all. I just did 8 in no time.
I won't do it. No, I gotta focus. Another thing is like what Laura does, like she is adding people from the gym. So like in person is another great way. I mean, you can't do that obviously like during a power hour, but if you get in the habit of always adding people to your network, this is network marketing. The bigger your network, the bigger your funnel. So the more people and I hate to look at it, like sometimes it can sound really salesy and icky, but I like to think of it this way. It's like I've made so many amazing friends through stepping outside my comfort zone. I've met people in line. I've met people at bars. Like you just never know who you're going to become friends with, and who like they're going to be your next best friend, or they're going to like rock the business and it's going to change their life, or they're going to help you through something. Maybe they don't even help you with the business, but so whatever you're doing, just be open and try to talk to people. And then I don't know if that, like, to me, it was never weird. Before I did Beachbody, I was always like, hey, are you on Facebook? And so for some reason now that I'm a coach, like, I get real nervous about it. But I was like, you know what? Like, so what? Get over it. And then, you know, you just say, hey, like, I'd love to add you on Facebook. It's not like, I'm not asking, I'm kind of telling them, I'd love to add you on Facebook. What's your, like, you know, I'll either grab their phone or usually I'll grab their phone and send the request so that way they can't not accept mine. And so that's another way. And it's even better because then they really meet you, and you never know how long it could take. Like, I've literally added someone that I met, and then like maybe 3 years later, then she became a customer. Like, even there was a lady at my, the DMV, I saw her eating salad, and this was back when we did 10-day challenges, and I was hungry. I mean, I was like desperate to get rid of those packets. You guys remember we had to get rid of the packets? Because we were broke. Like, I bought the packets, I had to get rid of the packets. I needed people to buy them. And so I saw the salad, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you're interested. And she was like, yeah, oh, okay, I'll go get them. She wrote me a check, she did it, and she became like a life, like for 3 years, like off and on buying challenge packs and Shakeology and things like that. So you never know. You got to be open, and you got to add people to your network, and you got to open your mouth. So I'm not that ballsy now, but I was hungry back then because we were like, gotta pay the bills. Okay, so next we're gonna connect with people. So really this works really well if, like, when you friend these people, they're not going to do it right. Like, they're not accepting right now, but when they accept that friend request, then you can connect with them and say, hey, like, we're in the same neighborhood. I hope it was cool that I sent you a friend request. I just wanted to say hi. I see we both have young kids. It's really nice to meet you. So it's not so weird. And I've really, since we moved to Houston, I've been adding a lot of local people. And I am being honest, and I say, hey, like, I just moved here. I'm just adding people from the area to connect with, you know, something like that. You know, I hope it was okay that I sent your friend request. And they're like, totally, welcome to Houston. And that way it's not so weird, because, you know, you get friend requests and you're like, not like crickets, and it's just kind of weird. Oh, sorry, that was our timer.
Well, and here's another great thing about adding people that you actually meet in real life is because you've kind of already connected with them, right?
True. Yeah.
Right? You bump into somebody at church who's, you know, carrying around a protein shake, and suddenly you're talking about shakes, and then your friends on Facebook. Well, you've already really done the connect. Then it's just time to start to, you know, grow the relationship.
Yeah. And you can even, like, depending on where it goes, like, if you know there's a need, go for the ask. Like, you can even say, like, I know that's the inviting, but lead with fear, especially early on. I was like, look, I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell you something, but you got a protein shake, you know, so I don't know if this would be a good fit for you, but I would, you know, would you like some information? So never be afraid to, like, lead with your fears. Or like, I still do that sometimes, but it seems like the closer I am to people, the more afraid I am. I almost think the best thing I ever did was kind of break out of that. So the longer you do it, the more you're going to get out of that warm market, and you're just going to be able to be yourself, and people are going to see you as this coach and trust you more, versus, like, it is harder, initially, like, in that inner circle, because they don't see you as a coach. They're like, whatever, I saw you eating brownies. You're not a coach, you know? Okay. So we got connect. I guess let's take a few minutes and connect with some people. If you don't have any new people to connect with, just maybe go through and you can look through the birthdays. You could do that. That's an idea. Like, go, if you don't know how to find that, if you go on Facebook, you click, you type in birthdays, I think on this day, birthdays.
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh, come on. No, it's not popping up. Birthday. I don't know. It usually pops up in the morning.
Another thing that you guys may already do this, but I started, I think, back at Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. I started for all the good holidays that come around. I just started messaging a cute GIF and a little message to people who I needed to connect with, people who I wanted to stay in their mind, or people who I had invited and said no, but I wanted to let them know that, hey, we're still cool, right? And actually what happens is, so I did that at Thanksgiving, I did that at Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter, and just Mother's Day. And every single time I've done that, and I don't send out a mass message, I individually do it, right? You can forward it to individual people, and I just go down my list, send. Every single time I've done that, it's re-sparked conversations that I've been having with people, and that, oh yeah, happy Easter to you too. Are you going to be doing another challenge group soon? Hey, yeah, happy Mother's Day, girl. Do you have a group for the summer? And last month, a big part of my numbers was people that I reached out to and said, happy Easter, Jesus is risen. And they're like, yeah, he is. Let me buy some Shakeology. So really, I mean, just letting people know that you're there and that you think about them, it re-sparks a conversation that maybe you haven't had with them in several months. So definitely always connect.
I love that idea. And it's almost like a follow-up. It is a connect, but it's kind of like a follow-up. You just want to constantly keep your name in front of their mind, because I had this experience recently. How many times are you actually interested in something, but then life gets busy and then they don't follow up and you can't remember their name? Like, this happens to me all the time. Like, there was this hairdresser and I was like, oh, she's local, I forgot her name. And now, so that's why it's so important. I think even hairdressers should be following up. Like, hey girl, I just want to let you know we're having a special or something, because we forget, like, there's so much going on. So you're like checking back in, or like I don't always do the happy birthdays, but it's a great way to keep connecting and reminding people, hey, I'm still here, and maybe they were interested, and then you send a happy birthday and then they forgot, and then they saw the message and then it triggers something in them. Something I did learn, I didn't think about this, is to look where it says the happy birthdays, like in advance. I think this was on a National Wake Up Call, but in case you missed it, it was really good. So like looking ahead, like 2 or 3 days and saying, hey, like, just wanted to send you a happy early birthday. I know like everyone's going to bombard you soon, but I wanted to be the first. Haha. I hope you have a wonderful, I hope you have a super special day. And you can literally copy paste, like change the name, and then go through and you can do a bunch of connects. Like, say you only want to connect on like Monday, you could like connect with a bunch of people, and you're at least kind of getting, you're reminding them that you're there. And there's other ways to connect. Like, you can kind of like a follow-up connect, like where you're checking on somebody. Like, just recently I had her, like when I was tracking, she had said that they were renovating and she was interested, but like, she had to get some more money or whatever. So I just followed up. I didn't ask if she was ready to join. I just said, hey, how are the renovations going? So she knows I'm paying attention and I care. And she's like, I didn't even go into the ask, because she said like things were crazy. It was really expensive. And I was like, well, so I'm just like kind of saying like how you can just follow up in different ways. It doesn't always have to be, hey, like I got another group. You do need to do that. But sometimes it can be something different, especially if you followed up with a follow-up invite and they don't respond. Then maybe like another month later, just follow up and be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, how did this go? And I know we're jumping into follow-up. Sorry. So Laura, do you have something to add?
No, I just super simple connect. One of the girls, I went to high school with her. She just accepted my friend request. She's got this gorgeous profile picture. So I went to her wall. I said, hey, Ashley, your pic is gorgeous. We've connected. Yeah. And it's genuine because the picture's gorgeous. Yeah. So just say something genuine. That's all people want to hear.
Yeah, that's true. It could be in the form of commenting on a photo. I would probably comment and then maybe start a conversation, because you know her, right? Especially if you know the person. It's like not as weird. Just be like, what would you do if you ran into somebody like in person? You'd be like, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. Like, how have you been? Like, it's the same. Like, I mean, I would say I see you, but it's been so long. How have you been? What have you been up to? And you're not going into an invite. You're just connecting. Like you're just
Right.
connecting. You're building that relationship. And then later on, then you can say, hey, like we were talking the other day. You don't want to wait too long. We were talking the other day, and it just made me think that you might love this community. And so I know this is crazy, but would you be open to taking a look at a video of something and seeing if it's a good fit for you? And it's just something as like simple as that. Because I think people wait way too long before inviting to something that could change their life or a challenge group or whatever. But sorry, I told you I'm a squirrel. Trying to stay on topic. That was really good. So, all right. So, you guys want to take we are going to run out of time. What time is it? No, we're not. Do you guys want to do the connects? Like go ahead and message some people and connect. Do you want to take a few minutes to do that? Or do you want to move right into inviting? Yes, thumbs up. Can't see heads. Okay, we'll take like a few minutes to do that. Like don't overthink it. You can like comment on people's things. You can you can message people, but it really makes people feel good when you take the time to send them a happy birthday message, and not just happy birthday, but like, like make it a little longer. Like I was thinking about you, just wanted to send you some love. I hope you have a special day.
Here's one thing that I have found to be really helpful in just like keeping me in their mind is like, right now everybody's kids are graduating, right? Or their siblings, everybody's got somebody graduating. So they post the picture and there's 157 comments on the picture. And I could just say congratulations and add to the comments on their picture. But what I've been doing is going to that person's wall and putting on the wall, congratulations on this huge accomplishment, something personal, something meaningful, and then they respond to it and they remember that I took the time to come and say something. So commenting on photos is great, but if it's a photo that's got a lot of comments, I go right to their wall because it's obviously a big deal, and I put something right there on the wall.
That's a great idea. I'll just set the timer for 2 minutes. Sorry to interrupt, but I do use their name. I don't like the hey girl thing. I think it's cute, but if I know their name, I just think it's that way they don't think you're copy and pasting. And then the other thing is when you're going through these happy birthdays, it's really good to help you remember if you forgot about them. Because like I know I have. I mean, I've let people fall through the cracks. Like there's been times where they're like, follow up with me next month and I'll get started. And then I'll go to happy birthday and I'm like, oops. So it's really good. You can look at your past conversation and say, oh, it's been a while. Maybe write their name down on your invite list for like, or not today, because obviously you don't want to send them a happy birthday message and then invite them right away. But like maybe a list so like maybe next week or a few weeks from now that you come back and you follow up with them. And there's no perfect system. I mean, I don't have a perfect system. It's just kind of like this girl just said thank you. So I sent that, and then I'll usually ask a question. So I said, hey girl, I did say hey girl, but I changed the names. I was just on here. I hope you had a wonderful birthday today. She said thank you. So I'm going to come back and say, did you do anything fun today? Oops. And I'm just going to ask a question to get the conversation going. And most people will answer like, hey, oh yeah, I went out to dinner with my family. Oh, that's so nice. And then I just let the conversation go. I don't like keep on. And because we've all had those conversations where people are like, where are you from? Texas. Oh, cool. What do you do? And you're like, what do you want? Like, we've all had that where they're like on and on with a million questions and you don't know them. Don't do that. Like just go for the ask. Awesome. All right. So now we're going to go into inviting. So, okay. So this, we're kind of going to, well, not a lot, but if you're posting on stories, I know Summer's talked about this, but this is where I do a lot of my inviting from. Either people who are liking your post because they're following you, they're engaging with you. As long as they're not a coach, you want to make sure you're not inviting coaches. That's kind of awkward. And I've done it. Or go to your stories. So if you're posting on your stories, then you can see, like, I don't know if you guys know, like, but you can watch videos on that and like training on it. But when you click on your stories, you can see who's watching your stories. So all of you guys who watch me, I know you're watching. Just kidding. I'm like, but I'm just teasing. So I stalk other people too. So go through your stories and like, if they only watch one and then they disappear, they're, it's probably not a good person. But if you've like done a series of calls to action, which we'll talk about next week, but say you've done like several different posts about your upcoming challenge group and you maybe did a little video and they watched all of them, like they watched like all 5 or whatever, 3, then that's a good person to invite because they know, like, and trust you and they're watching you. And so just, you can message them directly from there. Just be like, sometimes I say, thanks so much for watching my feed. Sometimes I don't say that anymore because then I don't want them to stop watching me. They have no idea why you're inviting them, but they're watching you. So be like, hey, like, I don't know if you're interested or not, but, I'm starting this new 4-week group in 2 weeks and, I just wanted to send you a quick invite. Is that something you'd like to know more about? If they've been watching you, they know what you're about. They know you're doing fitness. They know you're focusing on drinking a shake. They know you're helping people because you're breadcrumbing that as well into your stories, like little screenshots or little shout outs. And so when you're inviting them, it's not a cold invite because they're already watching you. So let's take at least 5 minutes. I want to be able to get through everything and then we can come back and we can talk more about everything if we have time. But let's just take 5 minutes, go through stories. If you don't do stories and you can't invite from that, then just go to your Facebook and then your wall and go to maybe not the last post you did, but maybe like if you've done a call to action recently, if you have likes on that, or just go back like a few because I don't like to do the first ones or then they stop liking your stuff because they realize what's happening. So just kind of scroll down and then you could it's up to you. But I'm just trying to give you guys some ideas on like how to come up quickly. Laura, I'm sure you have better tips than me. I'm just kind of but I don't know how you pick who you're going to invite.
No, those are all good things. And I did want to say, if you guys aren't using stories, please use stories. I was a story doubter. I was like, I don't look at them. I don't think anybody else is looking at them. This is dumb. And maybe you don't know this because I didn't know until 2 weeks ago. And I'm supposed to be of the technological generation, I suppose. Maybe I'm a little too old, but I'm supposed to be pseudo-technological. And I didn't realize that if you make an Instagram story, you can also share it to your Facebook stories. So you don't have to double up because Jennifer kept saying, why aren't you doing Instagram stories? And I'm like, because I'm doing Facebook stories. And she said, you can do them both. It's the same. So go to Instagram if you have an Instagram and make the stories on Instagram. They don't take very long. And people actually watch them. It's amazing. I can't believe I had 100 people watch my series of stories yesterday. I was like, look at y'all just watching me post my goofy selfies and stuff. And I know, and so I've been noticing who's been watching the last couple of days of stories, and they're going to get invites.
Yep. It makes inviting so much easier. Mm-hmm. At some point you'll start seeing the same people and you can't keep inviting them you could invite them every month, but you can't invite them every day. I mean, that would be really weird. And I'm going to go over more in detail that stuff next week. And
right.
But yes, you can go in the settings of your Instagram, change it to where if you can figure it out, just watch a video. Everything is go to YouTube and watch a video. but it's real simple. And then you post there and it shares, because not as many people will watch your Facebook stories,
right?
Your Instagram stories. That's why I'm really moving in that direction. I'm like hating Facebook right now. Like it's my nemesis. But anyways, so really good tips. Definitely be posting on stories. And I felt the same way. Like I was like, I don't watch these, so. But a lot of people do, and it lets them get to know you. Like I'm not one that likes to do lives. I hate doing lives, but I could do a story and talk about the stupidest crap, and I'm like, well, they're watching, so I'm gonna keep talking about it. And it just lets them hear your voice. And just to give you guys an example, like, how many of you have heard of Primal Potential? Do you listen to her podcast? If you haven't, it's really good. Just kind of, no one. Okay, so it's Primal Potential. It's just a podcaster, but I've been listening to her, and so in my mind, like she's famous, you know, like, so then I found her on Facebook, and I got in like this free Facebook group, and she's posting pictures of her dog, and she's talking, and she's got chickens, and I was like, it was just clicked. It literally was today. I was like, oh, I feel like I know her now. Like I now feel like more comfortable, so I could actually message her. She has like a weight loss program. But it really made me feel like, before it was like, you're up here, and then I was like, she's a human being. So that's all stories does. It just makes you more relatable, and they're like, oh, well, I could talk to her because she's a normal human being. How do you track the people watching stories, write them down? I don't really track them. I just message them. Like I guess you just have to pay attention. Like you can kind of see like the same names, and I'm just like, you know, you can go through like forward, and then I'm like, oh, the same name, and then I just message them. I mean, I'm sure there's a way.
What I usually do is just when it's coming to the end of the 24-hour story period, I jump on there before they go away, and I just kind of look down the list and see who watched all of them, and your brain will kind of start to tuck that away. You can jot yourself a little list, especially if it's someone that's been on your mind to invite, or someone you've been thinking about anyway. Just jot their name down on your tracker sheet if you keep one. I hope we're going to talk about that tracking. But and you'll just start, a pattern will emerge. And in fact, what I've been noticing lately is a couple of ladies who have ghosted my invites are watching my entire story. So they ghosted my invites, but they're thinking and they're watching. So those stories.
And they don't know that you know they're watching.
Or if they do, they don't care, which is even better. But
I know you're watching.
That's right. Watch those stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I do is like, I don't really write them down. I'm literally going through with my invite, depending on what it is, and I'm like copy pasting in stories. But let's save that for next week. I don't have anything to talk about. But yeah, we didn't cover that. Tracking is so important. And I think most of you guys are doing that. When we did the thing with Josh, or now there's the success tracker that Beachbody has. There's trackers of all sorts of sizes. You don't have to use a tracker. I used a notebook when I started, and I did the power of 2. I added 2 people to my network. Like Summer was like, do this. And I was like, okay. You know, that's the biggest thing, is be teachable. I've seen coaches that they're like, I want to do it this way. And I'm like, okay. And then it doesn't work. So yes, you could screenshot. I've done that before. Like screenshot before it disappears. I meant to say that. That's a great idea. So where was that?
Oh yeah, that's smart. Mm-hmm.
Where was that? I forgot.
Tracking sheets, notebooks, whatever.
So
the recipe.
I had just a little cheap notebook. I had a dollar store calendar, and I wrote add 2, and I write the names. Invite 2, follow up with 2. I don't think I connected back then, but that was just kind of part of the invite process. But it makes sense. You should connect, because that leads into an invite. And then I always shared the business with at least 2 people. I feel like you have to increase your numbers now. I don't know why, but you just do. I mean, you could do 2, and that's better than nothing, but it's going to take you forever to build your business. And I only did 2 for a while to kind of get my bearings. And then, but like if it got close to like, say like the last week of the month and I wasn't at my goal, Success Club was non-negotiable. I worked until I hit my goal. So like I may say 2, 2, 2, but then I would like do whatever I needed to do to find the people that would say yes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm telling you, like, I didn't just go like, well, I'm only going to do 2. And if I hit my goal, I do. I was like, no matter what, this is happening. I'm going to work really hard. And if it doesn't, that's fine. You know that you did your best and that's okay. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you that. I just like, I get in that mode and I'm like, it's non-negotiable. I have to move my business forward. I'm sorry. Did you have something you want to say?
Oh yeah. Just about tracking. I've experimented with Streak and a Google Doc, and I always come back to paper, and I know that I'm not going to be able to do this forever, but I'm telling you guys, there's something about me, and if you're a visual learner, writing people's names down on paper, and so this is what I got going on for the last, and you can't really see it well, but it's just the list that comes with the Success Club tracker. And I've just gone and I've got my invites and a little bit about them. And now we've got this 3-day refresh coming. So I used one for that to keep me all organized. So because I had people commenting on doing a poll on stories about that. I had a Facebook invite about that. I had some messages about that. So it just helped me stay organized. So you don't have to be ready to jump into a big digital tracker. But if you're keeping some notes of your day's work, it's going to help you stay organized. The Success Club tracker is really nice because you literally just check boxes. And I love checking boxes. It makes me feel really good. So you can do that. I think my favorite is the Josh Coates group that we did. Jennifer kind of gave us the knowledge from that. She paid to be in Josh Coates' group, and she led a group for us. And we have the tracker from that. And the success that I'm having now is from the months of work I did on the Josh Coates tracker. So if that's something that you guys want to try for yourself, his tracker system is wonderful. And then
a lot of work though. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
Hard, and you didn't see the fruits of that right away.
Not right away. Yeah. No, we worked really hard, but it broke it down in a way that when you're tracking, it helps you stay organized. It helps your brain stay uncluttered. It helps me do the work first. Because you know how it is, right? You open up your phone to do some invites and suddenly you're sucked into everything that's happening in Facebook land or on Insta world. And an hour later, you're like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Or so then you're like, I worked all day and I'm not making any money.
Right. So the tracker, if you're using even just a simple tracker, it just helps you do the vitals first, and then you're connecting, and then you're like, we were focusing each day on focused commenting on people's posts and stuff, and this is where you're really interacting with people and making sure that they continue to see your stuff and they continue to think about you and they continue to know you're there. But that's wonderful, but it has to happen after the vitals. And so keeping the little sheet of paper just helps me get the vitals done and then do whatever else I have time for. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. Tracking that is when I really saw things change for me, is when I started tracking.
I think it gives you so much more freedom too. Cause I tracked at the beginning, well, kind of, but I don't know. I somehow got away from it. Cause we had like these bats, we called them business activity trackers, but there was so much on them. And it was so overwhelming to me because I like checking the box, but I felt like I couldn't do it all.
Right.
The Josh thing simplified things for me, and it got me in the habit. And it was something, like I said, there are certain things I don't like to do, but I feel like it's helped me so much to know what do I need to get done every week to move my business forward. Mm-hmm. It's not being online all the time. It's not like, we can commenting on other coaches' stuff. That's just not, it's fun, but it's not going to move your business forward. So if you're not tracking and you're one of those people like me who fought against it, just like try it. Even if you do like there's different trackers in the Team Courage files, like Power of 3, I think, or Power of 2. I can't even remember what we have, but there's so many different ones. And like I said, I tried so many and they didn't work for me. And then the Josh tracker works for me. And then I created something with like some of the same things that's more color coded, because my ADHD brain likes colors, and it just simplifies. So do what works for you. Like there's no right or wrong, as long as at the end of the week you look back and you've gotten the goal that you wanted, like this many invites and this many follow-ups. You can, and if it's the end of the week and you didn't, you get it done. Like, you know, you look back and you go, okay, I've had a rough week and I'm going to get it done. And so it just helps you to see it. So you don't feel like, because a lot of times you can feel like nothing's happening. Like I'm doing the work, nothing's happening. But you can't judge it on that. You have to judge it on your activity. If you're doing the work on that tracker and you've been doing it consistently for 3 to 6 months and nothing's happening, then you need to reach out to your upline or somebody that's, you know, like your whatever, somebody that can help you and say, hey, I'm doing everything, but something's not working. And there's probably something in your invites, or you need to grow your skill set. Because none of us started out as, I mean, unless you came in from another network marketing company, no one started a network marketing expert. We all started from the same place with like, we're like, what? I'm overwhelmed. There's a million things to learn. Like you know, and it is sales, but we're selling such a gift, you know, and it's a service. And anyway, I'm totally getting off track, but where are we at? So we're at inviting. We talked about tracking.
Yep.
So now we're talking about inviting. This may not be a live power hour, but we're kind of talking through it. So do you guys have some questions on inviting, or we have examples, or do you want us, like, I can give you some of the examples that I've been using. I think I've shared them already, but I don't overthink it. It really is, like, you need to know what you're inviting to. That's huge. Like, if you don't know what you're inviting to, like, you're not going to be motivated. So that's why, like, with this 3-day that came up, everybody was like, yeah, because they knew what they were inviting to. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Well, both. I do both, but I'm getting more people from there. But it took about 6 months to build trust. Like, most of the people who are now saying yes were people I added 6 months ago. So I think the same thing takes for Facebook. So when you add people, you have to know it's going to take 6 months to 6 years for them to trust you and see you as that, you know, when you follow up and you invite them and stuff. They're just, right now, they're like, you're just trying to sell me something. Rolling my eyes at you, you know, and that's okay, because they're not ready yet. And some are going to be ready, but one day they could be your best friend. So you just have to look long-term, staying power. Say, do you have staying power? Be here a year from now. And then when a year is here, you say, be here another year from now, because those are the people who succeed. Like, you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. It hasn't always been smooth sailing for me. But I stick it out and I stay. Crap, I keep losing. Oh, I was going to, but you have to know what you're inviting to. And like, we run an ongoing group, kind of like the 365, the Rise Up 365. So ours is the same thing. We call it a VIP group, just so I can find it easier, but don't call yours that, or then I'll be finding yours. So when I'm inviting to that, I'm not telling them a start date when I'm inviting to that specific one, because there isn't a start date. The start date is when they are ready, because you know, so many times people are ready, but then they're like, oh, it starts in 3 weeks. Well, I'll just wait. And then they wait and they talk themselves out of it. So that's what I tell them. I'm like, there's no start date, because we start when you're ready. Because I used to run it like this, and then I tell them why. And so they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to get paid next Friday and I'm ready to get started. Cool. I will message you on Friday and we will get you enrolled for the group. Cool. And then on Friday, I'm like, hey girl, I'm so excited to get you ready. And sometimes they ghost me. I mean, like, it still happens to me. Sometimes they said that, and you love them. You don't burn bridges. You don't act like a crazy person. You're just like, you want to keep following up. I'm sorry. It's so hard to like not like stay on topic here. But okay, so invites. The other thing I do, and you guys may do it too, is you can't see. In the notes section of my phone, I organize things, and I'm not an organized person, but I organize them by folders. So I have invites, I have connects, I have follow-ups, I got all kinds of stuff in here that's not that organized, but it's organized for me. So I'm going to go to my invites here. We could invite to the 3-day refresh. They're not going to get it in time. You want to do that or no? Let's see. So I can look in there and I can say, okay, so here's one, and I can copy and paste it into here if you guys want to use it. It's kind of long, but hey Jennifer, I know we don't know each other and this is super direct, but I just thought I'd ask. My mission is to share this community and the tools with as many busy moms as possible because it radically changed my life. So I want to send you a quick, or I should say I wanted to send you a quick invite to join me for my next virtual boot camp, ! I would love to join forces and help motivate each other. Now is the ideal time to work on our summer goals. I'm not sure if you've been following me on my journey, but I got started in a group like this 7 years ago, and it changed my life in so many ways. I loved it so much, I decided to pay it forward, and I have been helping women ever since. Would you like more info? And that one's kind of long. Hold on. I'm trying to find a shorter one that Laura, would you share one that you use? You're good at. Yep. I know we kind of use similar ones, but.
So for if I'm inviting to something specific, this is what I would use for like the 3-day refresh. Let's see, where did they go?
I thought about inviting to that, but if they invite to that tonight, it's just really too late.
Yeah, but if so for example, okay, then we won't do that. But let me go to I have one called Invite Tidbits. I just use different things depending on.
And I know we're getting close, so we're kind of out of time. If you guys need to leave, it's totally fine, but we'll just keep chatting your ear off. You won't hurt our feelings. I mean, you might, but it's okay.
I think this is one that you shared with us a while back, Jennifer, but I use it frequently and I get good vibes from it. Hey, such and such. I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in, but I just want to throw it out there because I feel like you're happy and outgoing and you would fit right in. I have an upcoming online fitness group and I think you'd really love it. And even though I say upcoming online fitness group, it doesn't necessarily sometimes it's for a specific date, like when we just started a Lift 4 back a couple months ago, but sometimes it's not, and they don't care. That's just what I tell them. We focus on total wellness and making small steps toward our goals, not perfection. Would you like to learn more about what we do? And almost everybody will reply to something like that. And almost everybody will at least say, yeah, sure, why not? Or if they say no, thank you, then I notice that they're watching my stuff and liking my posts. So I've gotten their attention.
You planted a seed.
Simple invites are the best, you guys.
Because they don't know that you're in business if you don't invite them.
Right.
So you have to think of the invite as you're just letting them know you're in business. You just open your shop, put the sign up, and you said, hey, I can help you. I'm in business. Now you know, and then they can watch you. But you gotta follow up too. If you only invite them one time, the odds are, and I was listening to a call and I think I shared it, is how many of you guys were invited one time and said yes? Like, I want to see a hand. If you were like that, if you were, wow. Really, the first time? Ashley, the first time I invited you? Wow. You're an easy sell. Sorry. I say the stupid thing. Okay, but the majority of people, well, you guys were probably watching your coach though, right? Like, raise your hand again if you were watching your coach when they asked you. So they had watered they didn't just pop up. So they kind of did with their social media. But the majority of people don't, oh, that's funny. The majority of people don't say yes the first time you ask them. So if you're going to put the energy into asking somebody, make sure you check back in with them. And I know that don't beat yourself up if you don't have a system and you forget and it's 6 months later. That's okay. Yes. Hey girl, I was thinking about you. I know it wasn't the right time before, but I just thought I'd circle back. I've got this group going. If it's ongoing, sometimes I'll say this, the energy is amazing. These girls are like crushing it. They're reaching their goals and they're feeling amazing. I just wanted to reach out and see if you might be interested now, if maybe now is a good time for you. Would you like to know more about how it works? And you're just showing them I cared enough to follow up with you and not just try to sell you once and then be like, you said no, I'm not going to ask you again. Because I think that's how people kind of feel.
Yeah. I think if there's one thing you could take away from how to do a successful power hour is get the invites out. Don't worry about the no. I forget which business coach always says, go for the no.
Yeah.
You want them to respond to you. And who cares if they say no, because you have planted the seed. And when I first started this business, I was like, what does that even mean? Why are we planting seeds? And I totally get it now. They watch you now. And if you're consistent in your posting, and if you are consistently showing your passion for what it is we do, they will notice. And when they're ready, you're the one that they're going to come to.
Okay, I just posted, this is kind of a follow-up invite, but a follow-up invite is still an invite. So you do need to have new invites, but you got to also have, because that was something I did want to cover, is if you, now I can't see you guys, I'm looking at my, my, whatever you call it, notes. If you are inviting the same people over and over and over, like beating your head against the wall, that's not working either. Like, you know, you've got to be adding people to your network so you have new people coming in your funnel. And that was something I didn't know early on. And so I was that annoying person who was inviting the same people every single month, which I don't know if that's a bad thing, but I don't think we need to invite people every month. I think maybe like every few months is probably okay. But I was, like I said, I was hungry and I didn't know that I was supposed to be adding. I mean, I did later on, like I know I told you guys I was doing the notebook, but I didn't kind of at first, like I didn't really have a lot of, my coach wasn't really, she was new too. She just didn't know. So, so when you're filling that funnel, it gives you more people to invite. So make it, like if you are tracking, when you add new people, kind of put them in, and then that way you know you need to go and invite them. Like maybe, like I have a way, but that's a whole nother training on Streak. Like, cause at the bottom, if you use Streak, the old people go to the bottom. So I go all the way to the bottom and that's where I'll invite from. But lately I've been doing stories cause that's even better because they're watching me. Like, I don't like, it's warm. It's like, they trust me more. So I'm like, if I'm desperate, I'll go back to those, like first I go to stories cause they're watching me. Okay. So I shared, yeah, Laura, would you post that invite in the comments? And then I will post, one that we can go ahead and we're not going to have time. Summer, I'm sorry. I'll just share one for you guys to copy. And then when y'all hop off, you have to promise that you'll at least send it to 2 people. Let's see. And just change it. Like, I don't care if you got started 2 months ago. Like, it's obviously helped you and changed your life. Like, I got started with this 2 months ago and I've lost 5 pounds, or I feel amazing. And I've loved it so much. I'm helping people. Let's see.
I'm putting in another one that I use a lot too. That gets a lot of good response.
No, I have so many. And I can share these. If y'all don't get them, I can share some of them in the page. I just don't know if I'll remember which one I'm sharing. Because sometimes I just write things up and then they're good and I'll save them. Like this is one that was even into fitness. I won't read the whole thing, but like, don't be afraid to say that. Like, pay attention to what they do. Like, even if they're with another company, I don't try to poach people, but sometimes you can't tell they're with that company. And maybe it just says like Advocare and their thing, but if they've got like, if I can tell they're selling it, I don't approach them. But if it just says in their thing and that, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever poach people. We've all had that and it sucks. But like, I might say, hey, I saw that you do Advocare, but I wasn't sure if you're actually working the business, and then maybe kind of lead into an invite and then say like, if you are, I'm really sorry. I wasn't sure, but I just wanted like, don't be afraid to reach out. But if they say, yeah, I'm with Advocare, I'm so sorry, I hope you're doing really well with that. And then you can kind of back off. But some people will have, do you know what I'm talking about? Especially on Instagram, they'll have like that they're with Thrive but they're not working the business. Like nothing has thrived. Now, if you look in there and they've got the patch and you're like, ah. Anyway, so, all right, I want to share so you talked about the business opportunity. I have one that you just have to share it with more people. I have one that's worked pretty well. I'll read it. I'll put it in here first. And then I'll read it. I've sent this a lot, and I don't, like I said, I mean, everybody that watches it doesn't say yes. It's just the funnel. The more people you put it in front of, the more people you talk to, someone's going to say yes. So it says, hey, Jennifer, I've been wanting to message you and ask, but I've held back because I didn't want to be weird or too upfront. But have you ever thought about doing what I do as an add-on to what you already do? Basically just helping other people on their health and fitness journey virtually, which helps you expand your reach of influence. Would you be open to learning more? So that's the first part. Sorry, guys. So that's all I send. And this invite is for people who are already working on their fitness journey. Maybe they're trainers, maybe they're bodybuilders, maybe they're just are working on their own fitness and I can tell they're not a coach. I have used this and then they're like, I'm a coach. And I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't know by your page because it doesn't look like it. But anyway, so that's something that you can send. Like on Instagram, it's a little easier because you can see that they're on a journey and things like that. So I don't know if that helps, but you can see the conversation. So if they say yes, I'll be like, let me send you this video because, LOL, like I'll confuse you kind of thing. If I send you a short video, can you watch it tonight or tomorrow? Or you can say, when can you watch it? Because you want to try to establish the follow-up, and it doesn't always work. I mean, like this isn't foolproof, but this is like if you have the book GoPro, it talks about kind of setting up the follow-up. And I think it's really important to do, so otherwise they won't watch it. So anyway, you can read that and kind of see how the flow goes. And it doesn't always work like that. But if they're really interested, they're gonna do it. If you say, okay, when can you watch it? Let's go ahead and set up a follow-up. And then like I have a girl on my team now, she does fitness competitions and she had no problem getting it. We set up, I did have to reschedule because you'll see that happens. Like even with customers, you have to just like know that people get busy and it's not about you. It's not that they're not interested, like when they don't respond. It's just that they forgot or they got busy, or maybe they had a big bill come and they got embarrassed and they don't want to tell you no, but you should still check back in. So just like try to take yourself out of the equation, because we can get like inside our minds, our heads, and like start thinking all these things and start thinking outside the box of like, oh, I wonder if something happened, or I wonder if, start thinking about what probably happened. It probably wasn't you, So like, I don't know if that makes sense, just because we all get in our heads, but it's probably not you.
Yeah.
It's probably something that happened in their life, or they got busy. I have to follow up with people a lot. And I think it's depending on your personality. If you're like ADHD and very distracted, you probably need to follow up with your people a lot, because they are interested. They're just busy and they're all over the place. And so they need you to stay on top of them. That's what I found for me. Even people I'll follow up with, they won't respond. And then I might follow up again and be like, hey girl, like, are you still interested? We kick off on Monday. And then they're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. And then they still don't order. Hey girl, we start tomorrow. Are you like, and then they're like, oh yeah, I forgot. And if I just sat back and said, oh, she didn't order and didn't follow up, then they never would get started. So try to take that. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, like just try to get out of your head. We're like way off topic now. I got anxious because I ran out of time. But anyways, I can share some of the scripts. That might be a little bit easier that I use, but the biggest thing is don't overthink it. There's scripts. You can have all the scripts in the world, but you've got to put them into practice, and you've got to realize that it's not icky. You're helping, you're inviting them into something amazing. Like, I don't know where I would be without this. Like Laura's she was such a hard sell, and it's changed her life. How much, I don't know if you want to share, but how much approximately are you making? You're probably going to make a lot more this week?
Well, last month was a really good month. I don't know. I think I'll break 1,000 a month soon.
That's awesome. And a year of being consistent. So that's exciting. And then to go on the trip, and she's going on the trip next year. And I'm not saying that, like, all of you guys can do that. Mm-hmm. It's just, you just got to be consistent. You gotta focus on your vision and your why and show up every day when you don't feel like it. There's some times I'm sick and I'm like this, like you just do it. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. Well, we follow up. We kind of talked about that. Do you want to go into some examples? I think we should let everybody go soon.
Sleepy. Yeah, it's sleep. On the East Coast, it's bedtime.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is, follow up, and don't be afraid to follow up. And
go for the no and follow up.
We have scripts. Like, you guys don't even need that. And I wanted us to actually go through them, but there's never enough time. I've done one other power hour, and we never get through anything because it's too hard. Because like I don't want to just have you guys do it. Kind of want to talk a little bit and give you some kind of meat to go with it. Did anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself, or are you guys good? You want to hop off? I'm willing to chat if anyone has anything.
I wanted to ask Priscilla. You said you asked your coach. She never approached me. Why did you ask your coach? Because she does what?
No, for being a challenger. I never asked. I approached her.
Because?
Why did I approach her?
Mm-hmm.
I was at a place where I was in a deep depression, and I need to make a lifestyle change.
And you felt like you could ask her because she was using her social media to build trust with you. So you went to her.
We had a connection before, so we knew each other.
Yeah.
So that relationship was already built because of our work relationship. So that's why it was easier for me to reach out. So
gotcha. I love that.
Yeah. And you're going to have people reach out to you, but you still have to let them know you're in business. Like, you obviously knew, right? She was posting stuff about her journey or calls to inviting people.
Yeah, she was definitely, it was very different 3 years ago. The post,
very different.
That and the amount of posts per day and call to actions were very different. There was no Instagram, or there was, but
we were like, we don't need Instagram.
So it was pretty much there's a boot camp starting. This is when. If you want in, ask me. So I DM'd her, and that was it.
Yeah. Her consistency made you feel like you could reach out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the lesson for all of us. We're so passionate about this business because it's incredible. We have to say that all the time.
Well, I think that's it, is the more you believe in what we do, the more that's going to come across. And you believe by being a product of the product, by action. Because when you're new, you don't have any coaches, you're afraid. But then once you start doing it and you get challengers, you start to believe in yourself. Then you get coaches and you start to believe a little bit more, and you believe in the system. You're going to have people come in and it doesn't work for them because they won't do the work. And that's okay. That's not on you. That's on them. But then there's some that do, and they crush it, and it changes. And that's what you have to think about is, some are going to do the workout, some are not. Some are going to do the coach training, some are not. That's not on you. That's on them. You are just like the coffee. Want some coffee? Want some water? Nope. Cool. And you just got to shake it off. One more thing, and I will cover this next week, but with social media, with Facebook changing, and I could be wrong, but my suggestion now is to probably only post once a day, maybe twice. On Facebook, and to sprinkle in calls to action twice, but you're probably not going to get much traction on them anymore, but people still see them. Stories is where it's at, but you still got to, and then don't just throw stuff up, and pay attention to your pictures, make sure they're well lit, make sure in front of a window, not a dark dungeon. We've all done that. I have, but Yeah, I'm not either. The Facebook algorithm just changed, and it's just there's keywords that are triggering things, and it's making it harder. It's more challenging. It's not impossible. It's just more challenging.
We have to be more about breadcrumbing now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sharing things. And so I don't know. And then if you're on Instagram, you can, 3 times a day is fine. You can post more if you want, but stories as much as you want. Like, just go crazy. I mean, you don't need to be on there all day, but like simple things like, got up, you're having your coffee, or you're doing your PD. And then, I mean, all the things on the tracker, like your workout. And then but the biggest thing people aren't doing is videos. So on Instagram, if you go to, you guys are getting some secrets. You may already know. If you go on Instagram when you're recording, go to hands free, and then you can have like a minute, I think. Or how is it? 30? Yeah, a minute. It'll do 4 frames, and you can like hold the phone out, and you don't, you hit it, you hold your finger on it for like a second, and then I'll go 3, 2, 1, and then you can just talk. You're talking to your best friend, talking to your peeps, about whatever. Like, I just got done my workout, crushed it. Like, I don't know. It doesn't always have to be about workout. It's like life, or maybe video your cat and you hashtag pets of Instagram, things like that. You're just sprinkling in, and the people that can relate to you are going to find you. People, I'm serious. Like, I have so many people that follow me. Their cat looks just like mine. It's the weirdest thing. Like, so don't be afraid to share, because what you think, like Laura said, is maybe kind of dumb and random. Somebody's lonely. Like, I was lonely. I wish we would have had stories back then. I would have been one of those swipers, like, watching them, because I was so lonely and I wanted a community, and I found it, and that's what motivates me. So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. But thank you guys so much for hopping on. I hope we added value to you in some way. And anyway, all right. You guys have a good night. Bye.
Thanks, y'all. Good night.
Thank you for doing this.
You're so welcome.
I did not want to do it alone.
It was great. Y'all are the best. Bye.
Anyway.